Hey, what's up guys? It's Marv and welcome to your definitive guide for the Drive Syndicate 6 in Asphalt 9. I'm going to walk you through all the basics of what the Drive Syndicate is, and at the end I'll give you some tips and tricks from a player who's been playing since the beginning so you can get the most out of your Drive Syndicate event. So firstly, what is the Drive Syndicate and what exactly is going on? Well, it is a very special event in Asphalt 9 that has exclusive game modes such as Money Run and Takedown, and of course the opportunity to unlock some of the best cars in Asphalt 9, where it sees you, the player, going underground into the Syndicate organization to take tasks from clients or go undercover with the Asphalt security force. Now the event is sort of separate from your normal progression. There are exclusive game modes like I said, but there are also exclusive currencies and shops and a separate progression contained within the Drive Syndicate event. Now don't worry, this event is free for anyone to enter, so you don't need to pay anything to get in. You can just go right in and start your adventure. Now at the end of the Drive Syndicate, any unlocks that you get, including cars and blueprints, you get to keep. So you don't have to complete the entire event to get something out of the Drive Syndicate. You can pick and choose what you want to do. So firstly, let's go over the currencies and the shops in the Drive Syndicate. This is probably the most important aspect to the event because the progression is separate compared to your normal Asphalt 9 events. So the progression of the event is based off Syndicate points. Now when you complete a race, you get Syndicate points and a little bit of Syndicate coins. The points basically just track how far you are with the event. So the more points you get, the more races that you can do, and the further you can get into the story. Now the coins will let you get resources from the shop like blueprints, import parts, and getting packs for more blueprints. Now the shop is split into two sections. You have the Syndicate store or Syndicate market and the limited time packs. Now the market is my personal favorite because you can directly buy a certain amount of blueprints and import parts from that area in exchange for Syndicate coins or tokens. So with that out of the way, let's get onto the game modes. Now this is my personal favorite part of the Drive Syndicate. I love especially Money Run, which we'll go over first, and Takedown. So Money Run is probably one of the most important game modes in the Drive Syndicate. You start with a bag full of cash, and by the end of the race you have to finish with as much cash as you possibly can. Now there are some things you can do to keep your cash as high as possible. Firstly, being in Shockwave or having airtime, that will freeze the cash drop out so you don't lose any cash. But the most important thing is knockdowns. Knockdowns not only give you a lot of cash, but knockdown combos will give you even more cash. Now the cool part about Money Run is this progression, or the amount of cash that you get in a race, is actually directly tied with your currency. So when you finish a Money Run race, you actually get to keep that amount that you earn in the Money Run race. So the better you can do, the faster that you can get blueprints and the faster you can progress. Now the second big exclusive game mode for the Drive Syndicate is Takedown. Now this is my personal favorite, coming from an old Asphalt fanboy. In this mode, you actually get to drive one of the powerful Asphalt security cars and take down Syndicate drivers. Now, of course, the name of the game is takedowns or knockdowns. So the more knockdowns you can do, the better you'll do in the event. And one thing is that these security cars don't have normal nitro. They actually have a temporary speed boost instead. Now getting close to a racer will trigger a lock-on so that when you tap that boost, you will automatically knock them down. Now if you go in front of a racer, you can actually double tap the brake, I believe, and that will actually slow you down and block a racer, and that will knock them out as well. So let's get on to some tips, tricks, and some advice for you guys out there playing the Drive Syndicate to get the most out of this event. So the most important thing is after you complete a section in the Drive Syndicate, you get access to what's called pinned missions. Now these missions are filled with money runs, and there's a limited amount of Syndicate coins that you can get, but you can use these races to build up your bank of Syndicate coins so you can buy more blueprints from the shop. So let's talk about that Money Run game mode that I was discussing earlier. Like I said, you want to finish with as much cash as possible, and I told you a couple ways. For example, being in the air freezes the money loss, and so does being in Shockwave, but knockdowns gain you money, so that is the most important thing. And not only knockdowns, but combo knockdowns. If you do more than a few knockdowns at once, you actually get a lot more currency than normal. Now, one problem, especially for you advanced drivers, you might find yourself being super far ahead of the pack and missing out on a lot of money because you don't have any racers to knock down. So what I like to do is I like to slow it down and let other people catch up so that I can spin and knock them down at once so I can get all those knockdown combos and build my bank back up. So let's also talk about the actual progression of the Drive Syndicate, because there are a lot of ways you can actually optimize the way you progress in the Drive Syndicate. Firstly, obviously, you need to unlock some specific cars in order to advance to the next stage. Now, one of the most important things you need to do is pay attention to the rewards, because you might need to only play level 1 missions in order to get to a bunch of blueprint rewards instead of spending your tokens or coins on blueprints that you might get in the future anyway. Now let's also talk about the two shops. Like I said, you can buy packs for the blueprints or you can buy them directly from the Syndicate market. Now, for the most part, you should buy all of the blueprints you can from the Syndicate market, because with the math, it works out that it's actually cheaper to buy them directly from the Syndicate market and then open packs instead of opening packs first. Now, one of the most important things that the community has discovered is a pattern about how you need to unlock and star up your cars in order to progress in the Drive Syndicate. Now, you don't actually need to max out any of the cars to continue in the Drive Syndicate. So the rule of thumb is you take the amount of stars that the car can have and subtract 2. So for example, the starting car, the Praga, actually has 4 stars. But in order to progress to the next stage, you only need to have it at 2 stars. So if a car is a 5-star car, you only need to get it at 3 stars. Now this is super helpful to remember in case you don't want to go around and spending any useless tokens or wasting your coins on starring up a car further than what you actually need it to be at. Now, of course, if you really like a specific car, and I say this a lot in my videos, feel free to star that car up as much as you want, because of course the Drive Syndicate gives you the option to star up any of the cars that you can get to. So if you like a specific car, don't feel like you need to use that car at its minimum star count in order to progress, because you might just ruin your fun. If you have a favorite car, don't worry about the progression, just star it up as much as you would like to. Last but certainly not least, we actually recently discovered that you can use wildcards in place of buying blueprints from the Syndicate market. Now, more than likely it won't be enough to star up your car, but if you're just slightly off, you need a couple of extra blueprints, see if you have any extra wildcards laying around, because you can actually use them to get blueprints for cars within the Drive Syndicate. Alright guys, well that is the definitive guide for the Drive Syndicate 6, and of course a bunch of tips and tricks to help you guys along the way. Now in the comments, let me know if you have any other tips and tricks you'd like to share with the community, and of course I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and good luck!